OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, it's CODY here from the Outcasted OC podcast, and welcome to the Friday Night Smackdown review. You're not in the Twilight Zone. This is genuinely happening right in front of your eyes. I'm really honoured and excited to be doing the Smackdown review this week, as G and Ross are both on holiday. I'm wishing them all the best and hoping they are having a fantastic time away. So I have taken on the role of the Smackdown review this week, and I'm not going to lie to you, I'm actually really happy that I did, because we've just had the season premiere of Friday Night Smackdown on the USA Network, and we had one of the best episodes of Smackdown that I have seen in a very long time. Super engaging throughout the entire show. They put a lot of effort and emphasis into this. So let's get straight into what happened. So Smackdown started off with a few key changes. I just want to run through them. So we have a new logo, which I'm going to put on the screen right here. We have brand new graphics, brand new coloring and everything. And we have a brand new Smackdown theme song. And no, it's not a Def Rebel theme. Thank God for that. It's actually a song by Megan Thee Stallion, which I love Megan Thee Stallion. And as soon as I heard her vocals on the verse, on the chorus, on the entire song, I literally freaked out. I got so excited. I geeked out over Megan Thee Stallion, and I just think it's such a good fit of a song. You need something fast, something high-paced, and that's very much what Smackdown reads to me. So we started off with Triple H actually making his way into the ring to welcome everybody to Smackdown, and Michael Cole on commentary whilst Triple H was walking down to the ring reminded us that this is the Triple H era, and I cannot agree more. Michael Cole saying that genuinely just reminded me of how far we've come this year, and I genuinely feel like this version of SmackDown, if we are getting what we got tonight moving forward, we are in for just an absolute great time. So Triple H says it seems like it was just yesterday that he was going one-on-one with The Rock in the first episode of SmackDown, and now 25 years later, there is no better place to be than right here, right now, and there is no better way to kick off the season premiere of SmackDown than doing the steel cage match between Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa. So obviously this was teased on SmackDown last week that we were going to be getting this match. Did not think it would be starting the show, but we actually got a video package kind of recapping the steps that have been taken to get us to the steel cage match between Cody and Solo. Very interesting to watch if you guys did not know what has been happening. Obviously Cody's been dealing with the bloodline pretty much since WrestleMania. So first up is the steel cage match between Solo Sikoa and Cody Rhodes. This was actually a really exciting match. The first 30 minutes of SmackDown this week was ad-free as well too, which I think this was the perfect match for you to put into that position. Gave it a really good chance to breathe, and we didn't have the feeling of, oh, we're going to go on a break soon anyway, and then come back and watch the rest of the match. So from the beginning of this match, Cody and Solo are very much hustling back and forth. They're trying to get one up on each other, and then Solo ends up going on the attack, but Cody ends up reversing the flow that Solo has gotten himself into with a bulldog. Cody uses the cage as a weapon, but Solo ends up sending Cody flying into the cage. Solo goes flying at Cody, and then he ends up hitting him with a really nice flying headbutt. Cody does actually get busted open during this match pretty early on by Solo, but I mean, it is what it is. It's a steel cage match. What do you expect? Cody does try to escape the cage early, but then Solo is inflicting the punishment onto Cody. Cody launches himself off the cage in a Cody cutter. Cody and Solo both meet at the top of the cage, and then they both just go flying backwards as well too. Cody hits a disaster kick and a Cody cutter, and then Solo hits that second gear. He hits a really nice flying splash onto Cody. Cody pushes the door open a couple of times and tries to escape. He hits a crossroads onto Solo, and then he hits a really nice crossbody lateral press from the top of the cage as well too. Super athletic. That looked super dangerous as well. Cody ends up hitting another crossroads, and he secures the win. And then the Bloodline come in and they attack Cody after the match. They end up getting into the steel cage. But then Roman Reigns' music hits and he walks into the cage, shuts the door and starts going after the Bloodline. Solo attacks Roman, but Roman ends up hitting a Superman's punch. Jacob ends up helping out in this way. He actually, I forgot to mention before Roman came in, he quite literally jumped to the top of the cage and just like jumped off as well too. Like, that man is an absolute freak of nature. So there's a moment moment where, Jacob is helping Solo escape, and then Jacob goes back into the cage and he shuts the door and he stares down at Roman, and then we end up seeing Solo removing Jacob because he's like, nah, like, get out of here. And then we end up seeing CODY come in to make the save as well, and they both just kind of look at each other. CODY and Roman are both just very much like, what's going on? Why are we in this universe together right here, right now? Doesn't make much sense to either of them. Their paths have very much crossed in ways that we knew would be happening at some point in time, but it seems to be a surprise to both of them. Kathy Kelly's backstage with Nick Aldis, and they pretty much just ask each other what is going on, and Nick is like, that was a super chaotic start to SmackDown, to say the least, but all parties who were previously involved have now been separated, and Solo has requested a challenge with Jacob that nobody can refuse, and this is long from being over. We head back to the ring where we have a super quick match between Michin and Piper Niven. Michin starts on the upper hand. She hits a really nice suicide dive onto Piper Niven, but then Chelsea Green ends up getting involved, and Michin ends up grabbing a kendo stick from under the ring and ends up attacking Chelsea with it. Piper hits a cannonball off the ring apron and she goes high. Michin ends up catching her and suplexes Piper. She hits a finishing move. I could not get the name of it. It's something really quick in terms of just like, it's really short, sharp, and sweet of a name. And she actually secures the win over Piper Niven. Then Chelsea comes in and Piper ends up attacking Michin again, and Chelsea grabs a trash can and hits Unpretty Her onto Michin from the trash can. Up next, we have Kevin Owens versus the mystery partner versus Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. So Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are in the ring waiting for Kevin Owens' mystery partner to come out, and it's this random guy called Ricky who looks like he's a bit of a jobber. He comes down, he's super excited, and then we end up having one of the people around the outside of the ring quickly pull Kevin Owens over and say, hey, your actual partner's here, because Kevin was like, yeah, I just had to grab this random guy Ricky because my partner unfortunately has some travel issues. Turns out the partner has arrived, and it is none other than Randy Orton. So we get Kevin and Randy versus Grayson and Austin Theory. This was a super quick match, super exciting. This was actually a really awesome match as well too. I think Grayson and Austin did a really great job in this match. So Grayson and Kevin both start, and Kevin's stomping at Grayson, but then Austin saves him. Randy ends up getting involved, and then he gets driven into the ring post. Kevin slams Grayson and Austin onto the commentary table, but Grayson takes advantage of this. When we hit the commercial break, Kevin ends up swantoning Austin as well too. A-Town Down Under are in control for majority of this match, and then he ends up getting tagged in, and when I say he, I mean Randy Orton. Randy Orton hits a power slam. He ends up throwing A-Town Down Under onto the commentary table. Both Kevin and Randy end up hitting the vintage double DDTs, and then we see them both set up for the stunner and RKO combo at the same time, and they win the match. I'm kind of wanting this to be over. There hasn't really been much substance in this for me to be super interested in it. I'm more interested in the storyline beats when it comes to Randy's eventual turn, Kevin's eventual turn, and obviously Grayson and Austin potentially turning on each other, because that's been teased for a very long time. We head backstage again where Kathy is again with Nick Aldis, and she's asking for any updates on the situation, and Nick says that Solo has made a challenge for Bad Blood. He's wanting Jacob and Solo to go up against CODY and Roman, and obviously this is something that we cannot say no to. The contract's been drawn up by legal super quickly, and the Bloodline have actually signed it. I need to talk to CODY though to see what he thinks. And CODY comes in and he says he's done with the Bloodline. This is Roman's problem, and I'm not signing this contract. And Nick Aldis is there just like, literally just got this contract drawn up as super quickly as I can, and you don't want to do this? Like, what's going on? Nia Jax comes out to the ring to cut a promo, and she starts talking about how a year ago she returned to the WWE, and everybody has realized why she is the irresistible force. She's unstoppable. She won Queen of the Ring, and that was easy, and becoming a champion was even easier. All of the women fear me, and they should, and I'll be defending my title at Bad Blood because Nick says that I have to, but I don't care who it's against. Everybody who is going to come up against me is going to experience the same fate that all of the others have, and I'll annihilate them. We hear Bayley's music, and she comes down to the ring as well. She says, look, Nia, credit where credit is due. This is the greatest year of your career, but the bar wasn't very high from your first round. And she goes on to say that I'm happy that you're confident, but I want my rematch. And Nia's like, you're in no position to be demanding anything from me. This isn't like last year when you were running SmackDown with the likes of Damage Control. I run the women's division now, and I don't need a posse to do it. And Bayley's like, well, what about Tiffany? Like, You needed her at SummerSlam to beat me, but I didn't need anybody at WrestleMania to beat me. And Tiffany comes down and says, Bayley, this is so pathetic. Nia knows better than to listen to you, and you're just jealous because I have the briefcase and I don't need to ask for this big opportunity for a title shot like a peasant. And Bayley's like, I'm a peasant, I beat you last week. And Tiffany's like, oh, well, only because Nia got involved. And then Nia and Tiffany have this moment where they look at each other and Nia's looking at her and Tiffany's like, I didn't say that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't mean it. And Naomi ends up coming out and she's like, look, we can fight if you guys want to fight. I'm not going to let you attack Bayley. And she goes on to say that it's been a while since she's held the title, which this is true. I need to see Naomi with a title ASAP. And Nia goes on to say, you want my title? You guys should have a match to see who faces me at Bad Blood. How about you face me and Tiffany next week, and whoever wins gets the opportunity to face me at Bad Blood? And they're like, yep, cool, we accept. And then Nia's like, but if me and Tiffany are to win, the loser of this match has to leave SmackDown permanently. And they're both a bit like, oh, okay. And then Tiffany's like, toodles. And then Bayley says something like a really smart ass comment to Tiffany. Tiffany turns back around and she ends up getting rear-viewed by Naomi. Nia comes in and does save Tiffany, which is quite cool to see. I'm super down for the stipulation of the loser leaves SmackDown. I feel like this is going to be a really interesting story beat to see what happens, because this is a really great opportunity for one of these two ladies, or even if it's Nia or Tiffany, to actually go over to Raw, because I feel like that women's star power is really needed on that brand at the moment. Super interesting storyline though. I love what they've got going on with Nia and Tiffany. I've been talking about this on the podcast so much because this is probably one of my favorite women's feuds at the moment, just solely because I can see how they're going to go with it, and I really want to see them build this up super big and make Tiffany a huge star out of it. Kathy Kelly is backstage again with Nick Aldis. As I said, this bloodline storyline is very much an overarching theme of SmackDown this week. And Kathy's like, do you have any updates in regards to this with me? And he's like, yeah, Roman wants to address this in the ring after this next match. So we're going to have this match and then Roman's going to address this to the WWE Universe. The next match just so happens to be Andrade and Carmelo Hayes Part 5. Now, I'm sure you guys have been catching up with G's thoughts on this match as of late. I have no notes because we've seen this before. It was a very hard fought battle. There was a lot of work going on around the ring barricades, and there was a really gnarly move where it was almost like a moonsault off the barricade. Both men ended up falling on the ground. So this was technically the rubber match, and Andrade did win, which was super cool to see. LA Knight does come out at the end of the match and congratulates Andrade and says that apparently you are the next contender for the United States Championship, and obviously wishes him the best of luck moving forward. So it looks like we are going to be getting LA Knight and Andrade at some point in time. I wouldn't say at Bad Blood. I'd say maybe at the next PLE after that, or just on an episode of Friday Night Smackdown. Byron Saxton's catching up with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill out the back, and he's asking how they're feeling being on the USA Network, and they're both talking about how it's so exciting to be here. We've got our titles back. We lost them for a little bit, but we've now got them again. We'll defend them anytime, any place, whether it's Raw, SmackDown, or NXT. Tiffany and Nia come in, and they go, hey, like, have you heard about what happened to Naomi? And Jade and Bianca are looking a little bit confused, and then Nia goes on to say, oh, well, it's because she stuck her nose in my business, and those titles look great on you, but just remember that I did beat you guys both when it came to the Queen of the Ring tournament. SmackDown is my kingdom now. And then Tiffany's like, toodles. In the moment we've all been waiting for, this is the main event. It's not a match, but it's more or less a main event. So Roman Reigns comes out to the ring. He doesn't take too long to make his entrance, and he comes out to address the WWE Universe with Nick Aldis when it comes to this whole bloodline business. Nick's like, look, I know this has been really chaotic and we have history, and he goes on to continue talking, but Roman ends up putting his hand out, basically requesting the microphone and the contract. Roman's like, I don't want to confuse anybody. You know, some things do change, but not me. I don't need him, and I don't need some contract. This is family business. I don't need a partner, and I don't need Cody Rhodes. He said, let's get one thing straight here. Whether it's me who has the Ulafala or not, I am the tribal chief. I'm not the original. I'm the only tribal chief. So now we actually officially know what OTC stands for, which is really cool to see. He goes, don't get it confused. This is my ring, my show, and my WWE. Cody comes out and he steps into the ring with Roman, and he looks at Roman and he says, your ring, your WWE, Well, it was, and it hasn't been since WrestleMania. And they both go and drop their mics, and they're just staring at each other. And then Solo and Jacob end up coming out, and then they end up getting attacked from behind by Tama and Tonga. And then Cody and Roman end up fighting back. Roman does end up grabbing the contract and signing it, and Cody basically just like requests the contract out of Roman's hands. Roman hands it over, and Cody signs the contract. So it looks like we are going to be getting Cody and Roman. Oh my god, you can literally tell that I review Monday Night Raw because these names just do not feel super like smooth coming out of my mouth. I have to think about this. So now we are going to be having it Bad Blood. We don't have the graphic for it yet, but we're going to be having Roman and Cody taking on Solo and Jacob. Oh my goodness, I need to just stick to reviewing Monday Night Raw because that feels so much smoother coming out of my mouth. But I'm super excited for this. I think bringing these two back together, where it's very much like a can they coexist for the greater good storyline, is going to be quite good, and I do think it is going to help in terms of setting up the Survivor Series match between the bloodlines if that's what they are going to do. We might even see the return of Jimmy Uso at Bad Blood, I don't know. We need to put his face on the side of a milk carton because he's been gone since WrestleMania, and I'm mildly concerned about where he's at. Sadly, that brings us to the end of this week's SmackDown review. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for letting me review SmackDown. I am going to stick to what I know and love, which is Monday Night Raw. I don't have to think about the names too much on the show because I review it every single week. I know that show like the back of my hand. But as I say, it's been an honor reviewing SmackDown for G and Ross this week, and I do believe Reese is actually reviewing it next week, which is super fun and super exciting. So I hope you guys enjoy the guest spot when it comes to the SmackDown review. If you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure you go ahead and like the video, as well as commenting something that you enjoyed about SmackDown this week, how you felt about the season premiere. Leave all those thoughts down in the comments. We would love to know what you guys think about the show. While you're there as well too, you should absolutely subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon next to it. Those are your notifications for the channel, and if you turn those on, you would not miss any of our future videos. While you're there too, you should absolutely check out the description down below. You can find all the links to Outcasted OC on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, as well as all of our personal social medias, so you can keep up to date with what we're doing when we're not posting on the channel. I was just about to say, as always, you have your NXT review coming in from Reese this week, which you can tell that is a Raw outro for sure. So, content-wise this week, we have the Raw review coming in from myself next week, then the SmackDown review coming in later on from Reese, as well as the podcast on Thursday, and the NXT review will be on the channel as well too. So if that sounds like something you really want to stick around for, that's why you should subscribe and turn on the bell icon, because we would hate for you to miss any of our future videos. As always, I have been Courtney from Outcasted OC, and I will see you guys in the Raw review next week. Bye guys!